Hey everyone, welcome back to your weekly outlook, where we break down what's been moving the markets and what you need to keep an eye on next week. Let's get right into it. Alright, starting off with Switzerland. Not much going on with prices there. Inflation is basically on vacation, sitting at just 0.2% year over year. No big changes from the previous month either, so it's all pretty calm. Now, over in the US, things are heating up, but not the way you'd think. President Donald Trump stirred the pot by dropping hints about replacing Fed Chair Jerome Powell.
President Trump made a last-minute visit to join White House officials in touring the construction site, and he used it as an opportunity to put additional public pressure on Fed Chair Jerome Powell to lower interest rates.
And investors scratching their heads over what's next for the US monetary policy. New Zealand saw a tiny bump in unemployment, up to 5.2% from 5.1%. Not huge, but something to watch. And speaking of jobs, both the US and UK are catching flack over the accuracy of their employment data. Some serious side-eye being thrown at the official stats right now. Also in the US, we got some not so great news from the manufacturing and services sectors. ISM reports were worse than anyone expected. Business activity is cooling down, employment's contracting, and prices are still climbing, mostly thanks to tariffs. Moving to Germany, it's more bad news. Exports to the US fell to their lowest since early 2022 and industrial production is down too. Feels like 2020 all over again. On the flip side, China posted better export growth in July, up 7.2% year on year, but trade with the US is still tanking. Exports to America are down a whopping 22% from last year. Meanwhile, China's trade surplus hit 98 billion, and authorities are promising to boost local demand. Update from the UK, the Bank of England cut interest rates again, now down to 4%, which is the fifth cut in a year. Inflation is creeping up to 3.6% and unemployment just hit 4.7%. So yeah, the BOE is definitely feeling the pressure. Finally, in India, the central bank decided to sit tight, holding rates at 5.5% while they wait to see how things unfold globally, especially with the US trade drama. Let's check the top gainers and losers from last week. And the stock performance as well. Alright, mark your calendars. Here's what's coming up this week. On Tuesday, the Australian business confidence and the RBA rate decision are up. Also, we have the UK unemployment and the German ZEW sentiment. On top of that, US inflation data will be reported. On Thursday, we have the UK GDP growth for Q2, the US PPI, and the Japanese GDP later in the evening. And on Friday, we have China's industrial production and retail sales, the US retail sales, and Michigan consumer sentiment being reported. And if you're tracking earnings, on Monday we have Barrick Gold, Rockwell, and Automation. On Tuesday, we have Swiss Life, Hannover Rück. On Wednesday, all eyes will be on Cisco. On Thursday, there's RWE, Swiss Re, Alibaba, JD.com, and more. That's your wrap up for this week. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like, share, and follow us for more updates. Markets never sleep, but we'll help you stay ready. Catch you next week.